Welcome to the Awaken on Purpose podcast, where each week you'll hear inspirational stories of heart-centered leaders who have awakened to their higher purpose and taken that leap of faith to follow their heart and make an impact in the world. Get ready to be enlightened, empowered, and transformed with your host, Jennifer Spohr.
Absolute pleasure to welcome as a guest to the show today, Devesh Tilokani. He is a podcaster, blogger, and founder at Progressholic, which is a community of individuals addicted to daily life progress within their physical, mental, and spiritual paths. Devesh's goal is to ultimately inspire more than 1 billion people to truly unlock their true full potential. I just love that. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, it's just such a joy and a pleasure to have you today. So, Devesh, tell us what inspired you to do the work that you're doing today?
Definitely. So Jennifer, there's been a couple of things that have happened to me personally that have inspired me to where I am right now. So I definitely say my journey started around 4 years ago. So right now I'm 20, and at the age of 16, I'd say that until the first 16 years of my life, I'd say that I lived a very normal, monotonous sort of life. And I was someone that went through a lot of social anxiety. And that was a big part of me, as in like my hands used to literally shake when I had to talk to someone. Like I wouldn't be able to even articulate my thoughts on this podcast right now. If you had spoken to me when I was 16, I wouldn't have even the courage to reach out to someone if you had spoken to me at the age of 16. So I remember there was this moment where I was sort of going to bed, and I was literally sort of crying myself to sleep. And I asked myself, I was like, what is this sort of life that I'm living right now? And is this sort of life that I want to live? Like, I mean, like if I'm already dead at the age of 16, then what's the point of living, for the next 50 or 60 years? And that's when I was like, something has to change. And after that, the first thing I decided was that I was going to focus on my physical health. So within the span of a year and a half, I lost around 70 pounds. And then on top of the physical health, I decided I wanted to focus on trying to reduce my social anxiety. And with my social anxiety, the one thing that I did was I decided I was going to speak to one new person every single day for the rest of my life. And 4 years later, I've sort of still continued it, and I've still been meeting one new person every single day. And so why that's inspired me to where I am right now is because with the more people I spoke to, my social anxiety started reducing, like it became less and less and less. And at the same time, I sort of realized my passion and my love for people as a whole, and just how much work there is to be done to sort of make people reach their full potential. Because I'd say that I haven't reached my full potential, but I've definitely unlocked parts of myself that I thought were never possible. And I saw a lot of other people that were like in this, like were exactly the 16-year-old me that I was. So I was like, how can I sort of spread my knowledge and experience that I've gained over these 4 years and continue to gain to the people around me? And that's sort of what inspires me every single day, to try to pass that wisdom on and try to help more people out that were in a similar situation like me.
I think that's amazing.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
I can relate to, what you were talking about with the anxiety. Prior to implementing meditation as a practice on my path, I used to have to take 2 medications for anxiety. And despite having held higher level leadership positions, I just would become so anxiety ridden when I would have to do presentations and various other things. So I just think where you're at now and how strong you are is amazing, because I know how paralyzing that can feel.
Definitely. I mean, it's it's not easy, but at the same time, it's not impossible. That's what I keep telling people. I mean, if you put in the work day in, day out, to sort of get over that, like there is a way out. That's the main learning that I've seen. Whatever hole you are in, there's always a way out.
Well, absolutely. I believe truly anything is possible. Um, I really believe that, our mindset is the only thing that really stands in the way.
Yeah, 100%. I definitely agree with that.
Devesh, I believe that every experience in our lives serves a purpose and shapes who we are. What experience in your life thus far do you feel has been most significant in shaping who you've become today?
Yeah, definitely. So I would say that the social anxiety was a big part of it, and also sort of my journey recently with spirituality. And I know you can attest to this as well, from your side. But over the last sort of year and a half, I feel like I've connected a lot more, um, to the spiritual side of myself, and that's been through some mentors that I've sort of met. Especially, there's been one mentor in my life, and that is, and he sort of changed my life completely. Um, and spirituality has been a big part because it's helped me sort of, as you spoke about the mindset part of it, it's helped me see things in a extremely different way. Because sure, you can have goals and you can work hard towards your goals, but it's like, why are you doing what you're doing? Um, Sort of, what is the underlying reason behind what you're doing, and sort of how to function within basically the ecosystem that I'm in right now, and how to function as effectively as possible. So like one thing that my mentor told me was that he's like, you don't need to go to the Himalayas to practice spirituality. You need to practice true spirituality is practice within the ecosystem in which you live in. And I think that has been, sort of, my biggest experience that I would say that has revolutionized my life as a whole, in the last year and a half. And I can of course elaborate a little bit more and go into detail with it later on.
Well, what you're saying, what you just said is really key. It's really about living within the environment that we're in now, right? And it's also going within, and we don't have to go anywhere to do that.
Exactly, 100%.
There are a lot of people out there, right? A lot of different ages, a lot of different backgrounds, and a lot of different places in their lives who are feeling a sense of urgency to live with more purpose. They're feeling called to do more. What advice would you have for those people who are feeling called to do more? What advice would you have for them to be able to take action to move forward?
So for that, I would definitely say that, in my in my experience over the last 20 years, I've seen the one thing that's really helped me out is to sort of find my purpose, which, as you said in the intro, is to inspire 100, is to inspire 1 billion people to reach their true full potential. That's my purpose. Now, how exactly did I discover that? It was through sort of trial and error and trying out as many things as I can. So, for example, through my social anxiety, I was able to figure out my passion of working with people, through which I was able to figure out my purpose. So, through trying out, sort of trying to figure out what my passion was, through trying out a bunch of different things, I was able to figure out my purpose. So, I would say those both are sort of, positively correlated. Um, and that's sort of been sort of my journey with it. So for someone, for example, you're 22 years old, you're coming out of university. Normally, at least I've seen, because this is the age group that I've dealt with a lot, is that you're told to sort of find a stable job straight off the bat. Stick with a stable job, work there for a while, and just keep climbing the corporate ladder. Now, what happens in that situation is that, for example, if you're stuck in one career for the rest of your life, you might be the age of 50 or 60 and you realize, wait a second, I liked something else and never got the chance to try it out. So I would say that between the ages of 20 to 30, when maybe your responsibilities, of course, every situation and every single person scenarios are different, but when your responsibilities are a little more less, when you can sort of take your ability to take risks, and your risk assessment is a lot more, it's a lot more higher, your ability to take risks. I would say take those risks to figure out your passion, which will indirectly correlate to your purpose. So that's been something that's worked out for me personally. I may be wrong, and maybe 2 weeks from now, I figure out there's a different way to find my purpose. But this has been sort of the way I've charted my territory, charted my way to my purpose. And it's been something that I've seen has been effective for some of the people around me as well.
I really love your answer. There's a lot to unpack there. The first thing is what you said about change, about trying different things. And then you even said for yourself, hey, I might figure out a different way 2 weeks from now. That is important, okay? Because our souls actually crave expansion.
Yeah.
We are created to want change. It is traditional society that conditions us to believe that we have to live life in this cookie cutter way. And it's just not true. So yes, change is good. And you never know until you try. It's so true that in order to bring further clarity to our path, we have to be willing to try different things. So I loved your answer.
100%. And just sort of add on that, like, this is one quote that I sort of live by, and that is, the day you stop improving is the day you stop living. Simple as that. So what are you doing today to sort of get yourself from where you are now to maybe a little bit further, just a little bit further? That can be literally 5 minutes of reading a book on spirituality, self-development, whatever, trying out a new meditation technique, trying out maybe a new breathing technique, or maybe even going to the gym to sort of focus on your physical health for 20 minutes. It can be anything, but it's like, how are you improving yourself today? And how are you sort of learning?
Exactly. And that may look different for everyone, right? Like, I believe success and growth can look very different based upon the individual. And there is no textbook to life and to growth. What matters is that we are moving forward. And it's often those little action steps that equate to the results that we want.
110%. And I love the point that you said about the success being different for different people, because that is something that I have learned the hard way. I mean, I've gone down paths in my life where career paths, I would say. For example, I was pursuing a career in finance. And then when I asked myself, I'm like, why am I pursuing a career in finance? I was like, wait a second, I'm just doing it because everyone else is doing it. And I'm just like, wait a second, what the hell am I doing in my life? I have no passion for finance. It's just because I think the money might be good and because all my friends are doing it. And then it was sort of that self-awareness to take that step back and then really look at your actions and be like, what the hell am I doing?
Absolutely. It's really about, success is just whatever brings you joy.
Yeah.
Whatever
100%.
fulfills you. Yeah, absolutely. And I believe that we all have that it factor.
Yeah, definitely. Hands down.
Devesh, how can someone find you if they want to connect with you directly or just learn more about the great work that you're doing?
Yeah, sure. So you can reach out to me on Instagram, my first name, Devesh.Tilokani. Or you can reach out to me on LinkedIn as well. Super active on LinkedIn as well. And if you want to reach your business, Progressholic, it's the same, Instagram.com/Progressholic. How do you spell it? It's progress, Progress, holic, HOLIC, just like alcoholic, but progressaholic.
Awesome. Devesh, thank you so much for taking the time to be a guest today. I just really, really loved our conversation, and thank you for all the work that you're doing to uplift humanity.
No, definitely. It's my pleasure. And thank you so much, Jennifer, for having me. It was a great conversation.
Thank you for listening to the Awake and on Purpose podcast. Please visit us and subscribe to the podcast at awakeandonpurpose.com so you never miss an episode. To learn more about how you can connect with your higher purpose and take that leap of faith to make your impact in the world, visit us at jenniferspor.com. And while you're there, be sure to join our email list for exclusive offers and a weekly dose of inspiration.